What is up, you guys? It's your boy John here from Puma Plow. It is time. It is the video. Finally, it's here. We will be combining wheat in this video. Not we. I didn't do it. I filmed it, but I wasn't participating. So guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome to an On the Farm episode 61. How's everybody doing? Thank you. This, what you're looking at here, well, that's grass. But this is a John Deere S670 combine with a 35-foot draper head on there. And you can see here's some wheat that they've harvested and then wheat that they have not harvested. They were down there a couple different times because it was tough where it went down out here. And somebody left a comment in a previous video that that was hail damage. That was not hail damage. It was a particular variety of wheat that went down like crazy. They had two different varieties of wheat out here. Actually, I think 3 varieties of wheat. It's very common for farmers to kind of mix and match like that in a field. This field here was one variety, and then across the road was 2 varieties in that field. So it is very common for farmers to do that because maybe this variety is better than that variety, and you don't know that until harvest time. So that was that. It's not hail damage. The grain is still in the stalk or whatever it's called. It's a technical term, I'm sure. The grain was still there. And I can tell you the field he is in right here, the field that I will be filming him in here was 120-ish bushels to the acre. In case you guys don't know, that is really, really good wheat. The best field that these farmers have ever grown was 123 bushels, and that was a different field this year. That was a couple miles away, different field, but 123 bushels to the acre, and this was 120 bushels to the acre, give or take a smidge. So really, really good wheat. I figured it was going to be good. We had a nice wet spring, which is when your wheat does most of its growing is in the spring. And then come summer, like when it's ripening, last year what happened is we had a lot of rain, and then it gets full of mold and this stuff called alpha toxin, and it's the whole thing. It's not good. You don't want that. So yeah, a dry kind of summer is better for wheat because it's already grown and it's already there. You just don't want all that rain and stuff when the grain is actually maturing and drying. So we had a great year for wheat. Now everything else not so much so far, but great year for wheat. Yeah, this combine was new last year. They got it during corn harvest last year in 2015. If you guys recall, when I actually got to do a ride along with them in the combine, that combine only had like 5 or 10 hours on it at the time. It was basically brand new, and it was pretty awesome. I don't know how many hours they have on it now because, you know, they farm a lot, so I'm sure it has a few hours on it by now. But here you can see they are using an auger wagon, and at least around here, when people normally harvest wheat, they do not use an auger wagon, but it speeds up production so much you might as well. You know, you have the tractor, you have the auger wagon, you're not doing anything else with the tractor and the auger wagon right now, so you kind of might as well. And the combine never stops, and that's what it's all about. It's being as efficient as possible with what you have. So if the combine never has to stop, well, there you go. He's only able to do 1 round, and he would have to empty every time at the truck when he got back over by the truck. So you might as well just use the auger wagon, and then it's so much faster, so much better. You can see the sprayer marks from when they sprayed it. They sprayed it late with a fungicide to keep the fungus out of it. It worked, / it was dry, so there wasn't any fungus to worry about. So yeah, like I said, the really, really good wheat. You can see how slow he's having to go with that combine. Across the road where that wheat had gone down, that one variety of wheat that went down real bad, those spots were still a little green. The grain was dry, but the straw, the stalk of the wheat plant was still a little green. So he had to go a little bit slower even over there. We weren't down there to see him harvest that side. I do have to thank the farmers. They were in contact with my dad. My dad called them, and thank my dad too, I guess. They were in contact with my dad a couple different times to like let us know when they were going to be harvesting. This was actually on a Monday, a day that I'm normally not at the farm, but we went down there knowing that they were out there harvesting this wheat. So yeah, we were able to run down there and basically stand right inside the shed there and just like drip sweat as we were flying the drone. Because it was hot. It was very hot. We still have not had any measurable rain. We had a little bit of rain here the other day. Actually, the day this was filmed, that night, it rained just a little bit. Like, you could just kind of tell in the garden down there, just a couple drops had hit, but that was it. So, no measurable rain yet, but we're hopeful here one of these days we'll get some rain, but it's getting kind of late for a lot of the stuff, so at least on the sandier ground. You'll see that at the end of this video. I do have some footage of some corn coming up, so. But yeah, this combine, you know, I grew up around farm equipment. My grandpa was a farmer until 96. He had an auction. So I grew up around it. But the stuff they have these days is just massive. It's like a 12-story building or something. It's not that big, but you know, like a quad track or like this combine, it's like, holy crap, I need a safety harness if I had to get on top of it and work on it, you know, like, man, you're up there. So it's kind of crazy. The day before this, actually, the combine was parked in the yard. That's the first bit of footage you saw here. They I guess they didn't want to take the header off to park it where they normally park it. They'd have to take the header off to get back there, so they just left it in the yard for us, and it was all good. We got to take some video and pictures of it and whatnot. So here we are up. I'm gonna go ahead and say I was at 400 feet because that's legally as high as I can fly. I think I was at like 398 or something. And a little fast time for you guys. It's kind of cool. You can see the clouds as they're going by, the dark spots on the fields, the shadows of the clouds. Kind of interesting. You can tell it's a little windy because with the straw sometimes will not fill the whole pass. It's kind of blow into the one side. But the amount of straw they were getting off this field, and they were cutting it pretty high because there's no reason to cut it super low or anything. The amount of straw was real. Now, if you were going to bale this, obviously you wouldn't use a big combine like this. It chops up the straw too much. You would use a lot smaller, older combine, and your passes would be a lot less. So the amount of straw in one windrow would be a whole lot less. We did see some guys actually baling in the area. I was not able to get any footage of that, but we did see some guys out doing that, and it's too hot for that. It's way too hot to be baling. But, you know, it's time of the year and it has to happen. So in a normal year where we would have rain, these guys would be planting soybeans right away. You can plant what they call late beans. And it's basically right after you harvest your wheat, you plant beans right in there, no-till it. You just drag the planter across there and get it done. But because we haven't had any rain in a while here, the ground is actually so hard that A, you're going to have a hard time getting the planter to go in the ground, and B, there's no moisture there to get the beans up. And even if they do come up, they're going to stand there and die because there's no moisture. So it would be a problem. This field's a little bit better than some of that farther out dirt. That's a lot sandier. This dirt's not too bad here, but still, it would just be brutal. It wouldn't be worth the money that you would have to put in. You wouldn't get the return out. So yeah, it's not worth the gamble at this point. So I don't think they're going to plant beans yet. They're going to wait until a rain. We'll see how long that is from now. If they get a good rain, I could see them going out there and planting. But till then, the planter and tractor are just going to sit. They've got two big John Deere tractors that are basically the same. I don't know what numbers they are. I'll try to find that out in the next couple weeks. We can go spy on it maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure what they are. But you can see the grain tank's getting fairly fullish. And basically every round, every other pass, every round he has to empty out. Otherwise he'd be like full. So, and I did have to be very careful while flying the drone around this. A, I don't want to hit their combine because it won't hurt the combine. It might scratch the combine, but not worried about that. I'm worried about breaking the drone. And then B, you can see the cloud of dust he was making here. I had to stay on the one side the whole time. I was not going to fly the drone into the dust because that just would not be good for the drone, the camera, any part of it. Like the drone's dirty enough from flying down at the farm. Like the other day I landed it and I was like, what is that black spot on the top? It was a dead bug. Like, the drone flies fast enough to kill bugs, okay? It's pretty awesome. So there you can see the auger wagon. You know, the auger wagon job I would like, but at the same time it has to be a little bit like boring in a way, because you kind of just sit and wait for the combine to come back. Now it's not as bad on corn, because on corn they're going so much faster. But with this wheat, they really have to slow down because there's just so much material coming in. You got to give that combine time to chew it up, otherwise it's just not going to work. So yeah, and you can see at the bottom of the screen they were running a semi truck. They actually were running 2 semi trucks and what we would call a straight truck, which is a like dump truck style, you know, no bend, no articulation point. It's a lot shorter truck, hauls about half as much grain or a little bit more than that. So legally you're supposed to put around 1,000 bushels in there, but if you're hauling from the field to your farm, you can put as much in there as you really want. And then if you are hauling to sell, you have to play the weight game, and it's just under 1,000 bushels of grain, I do believe. So you can see, look how full that combine is. So auger wagon guy's gonna pull up and get him emptied out yet again. And yeah, it's amazing how this operation runs, because I mean, like I said, that combine does not stop. And, you know, it'll be all day and the combine doesn't stop unless, you know, the operator needs a break. If he needs to get out and stretch his legs out or something, then yeah, you know, shut down for lunch and shut down for dinner. They were going to run till about dark this night. It was actually summer solstice night, so I guess they had to work a little later than maybe they thought they were going to, but, you know, it's all good. So you can see that auger on that combine really puts the grain out. It's so fast. The only thing that's faster is the auger on the grain cart. It's even faster. So, and yeah, there's multiple names you can call that: grain cart, auger wagon, whatever. There's multiple names. It depends on what part of the country or what part of the world you're in for what you call that, and that's that way with a lot of things. So here we go, back at the semi. You can see there's a dividing wall in there between the hoppers. So I guess in theory, and I doubt anybody's ever done this, but you could haul 2 crops in there. I don't know why you would want to do that, the risk of mixing, and anyway, it'd be a thing. It's something we would do on Farm Sim though, to be honest. It sounds like something we would totally do on the game. But yeah, here you go. He's unloading the wheat into the combine, or not into the combine, into the truck. And then they had to drive about 8 or 9 miles maybe back to their farm. So these guys are based, you know, a lot farther away, but they farm land kind of everywhere, and so they do a lot of road travel. That's actually, and I've never talked to them about this, but I would assume that's why they don't have anything with tracks on it. As much road travel as they do, it would just burn the tracks off whatever they would put tracks on. So they run everything wheeled. They don't actually run like the biggest things either. Like, that's their biggest tractor. They have 2 of them that are within a couple horsepower. And I think it's because of the same thing. They just do so much road travel, they don't want to do that. Plus then, if you buy a huge tractor, you got to buy all these huge implements, which are harder to get down the roads. And it's a whole thing. So, you know, they're a plenty big operation. There's 5 guys. It's a big operation. They farm a lot of ground in a year. So, yeah, they definitely farm quite a bit. So there's the auger wagon all emptied out, ready to go, waiting for the combine to come back. So you can see that's that patch of wheat there, top of the screen, that went down real bad. Like I said, though, it was not hail damage. We have not had rain, let alone hail, in forever. So now, guys, we're cutting to the cornfield that we've looked at before. Another week of no rain and 95 plus degree weather, except for one day, I think. One day it was cool enough, like I cut my grass. Other than that, I'm not going outside if I don't have to, okay? It's that hot. But it's amazing, you can see the sandier strips and the little bit better dirt strips out here, and it's all the same crop. It was all planted the same day. This was all fertilized the same day. We watched him fertilize this field. This is the field that they fertilized. The soybeans are next door there to the left that we watched being planted, which I actually talked to that farmer the other day. That was good. It was kind of funny because Yeah, he actually, while I was flying this for this shot here, he came over and he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh," but it was all good. We had a good talk, and yeah, but it's just crazy how much dirt you can see. You should not be able to see any dirt through the corn at this point. Yeah, they have multiple fields out here that I don't even know if they're going to be worth combining unless we get rain soon. But we'll have to keep watching the corn and seeing how it goes all summer. I'll keep you guys up to date as long as I can fly the drone over it and get some video of it. We'll keep on keeping on. But guys, I do appreciate you watching episode 61 of On the Farm. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. And until next time, I'm your boy John from Puma Plow. Thanks for watching, and zoodles.